Gentlemen, Catherine Herridge, Fox News. Why did you take the fifth today during the hearing? When you take the fifth 10 times before a congressional hearing, when you take the fifth 10 times before a congressional hearing, you leave the impression that you fear criminal prosecution.
Woman's got a point. Brand new video of our Fox News chief intelligence correspondent, Catherine Herridge, today attempting to get answers from some folks who handled Hillary Clinton's email server. And it was a very similar scene to the one we saw play out on Capitol Hill moments earlier when those folks were asked to answer questions on the record. Watch this.
Mr. Gambetta, do you intend to make an opening statement?
On advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer and assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
Mr. Thornton, do you intend to make an opening statement?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer and assert my Fifth Amendment constitutional privilege.
Who told you to delete the emails?
On advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer and assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
Did you send or receive this email?
On advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer and assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
Were you interviewed by the FBI?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer and assert my Fifth Amendment constitutional privilege.
You can't answer the question about whether or not you were interviewed by the FBI?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline.
You get the picture. Joining me now, Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz is here. But first, we go to Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge, who's live in D.C. with more. Catherine?
Megan, the two witnesses who took the fifth work for a Colorado-based company, Platte River Networks. They managed the server and in March 2015 destroyed the Clinton email archive, despite an order from Congress to preserve the records. The committee today released this email sent 5 months later suggesting Platte River was having major heartburn after using a technology called BleachBit to electronically shred the Clinton records. Quote, starting to think this whole thing is really covering up some shady stuff. One Republican calling out the witnesses for cooperating with the FBI, but blocking Congress.
They won't talk to us. We can't put them in jail. We just want to get answers for the American people. And they won't talk to us. I've never seen anything like this, Mr. Chairman.
The panel did hear from Justin Cooper, a longtime Bill Clinton aide who was questioned about using a hammer to smash 2 of Hillary Clinton's BlackBerries.
Was your purpose in destroying the old BlackBerry device ever to hide Secretary Clinton's emails from being saved or disclosed from federal records laws?
Congresswoman, no, it was not in any way to destroy or hide any information at all. I was going out of my way to preserve all of the information that was on those devices.
Cooper also had unlimited access to the Clinton server containing 2,100 classified emails and another 22 emails at the top secret level.
Did you have a security clearance at that time?
No, I did not have a security clearance.
Democrats said the Republican investigation today is a charade and designed to simply attack Clinton and humiliate the witnesses. Megan.
Oh, boy. Catherine, great to see you. Well, last night we brought you the video of the dramatic scene that unfolded yesterday when House Oversight Committee Chairman Jason Chaffetz, again, handed the FBI a subpoena on Capitol Hill right in the middle of a hearing. Watch.
Will the FBI provide to Congress the full file with no redactions of personal identifiable information?
I cannot make that commitment sitting here today.
Then I'm going to issue a subpoena, and I'm going to do it right now. So let's go. I've signed this subpoena. We want all the 302s, and we would like the full file. You can accept service on behalf of the FBI?
Certainly.
You are hereby served.
Joining us now, Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz, who is out with a new book, Electile Dysfunction, a guide for unaroused voters. Great to see you, Professor Emeritus.
Thank you so much, yes.
Wonderful to have you here. A lot to unpack there. So let's just start with these. There's the one guy, Pagliano, who refused to testify today. He's refused to testify before based on his Fifth Amendment rights. And then there's 2 guys who work for Platte River Network, which is the firm that managed the server that destroyed emails even after Congress had issued an order that they preserve the emails. What does it tell us that they asserted their Fifth Amendment rights?
If I were their lawyer, I would have advised them to assert their Fifth Amendment right, because there is a possibility that their answers might result in giving incriminating information. And once you know that they're going to assert their Fifth, then you can play theater. You can say, did you kill John Kennedy? I assert the Fifth Amendment. Do you know where Elvis Presley is? I assert the Fifth Amendment. Because if you start answering questions, you can't, as the Supreme Court has said, turn on and off the water
Well, you know what the viewers at home are thinking. Why is somebody facing criminal liability potentially in their own minds for helping Hillary destroy emails or with her email server?
Because any lawyer would tell them that if they, in fact, did something after a subpoena was issued, there is at least the possibility that they may have engaged in criminal conduct. That doesn't mean that Hillary Clinton did. And remember, too, that it would be a crime for Hillary Clinton or anybody on her behalf to tell these witnesses to take the Fifth Amendment. They can only get that advice from their lawyers. If somebody else tells them to take the Fifth, that's an obstruction of
If she
justice.
says, you know, you have the right to take the Fifth Amendment, you don't have to cooperate. You could, then that's a problem. But we have no proof she did that.
Oh, no, she would never have done that.
Let's talk about Chaffetz for a minute, because yesterday he served the FBI with a subpoena in the congressional hearing because the FBI had given a bunch of documents from its interviews of Hillary, and they were heavily redacted. And Jason Chaffetz's point was, we, Congress, we get to see that. You don't give us, you don't get to redact everything from us. Do you agree with Chaffetz or the FBI?
Believe it or not, as a liberal Democrat, I'm on Chaffetz's side on this one. The FBI redacts far too many documents. You want to make a good investment, invest in that pen company that blacks out things on FBI files. That's all they do. And the FBI has no right to make that determination unilaterally. We have a system of checks and balances, and Congress has the right to see anything that can't be either kept from them on good grounds, but there should be a presumption that Congress gets it, and that presumption should be overcome only by a strong showing.
Now, having said that, the viewers should know that you have defended Director Comey and his decision not to indict Hillary Clinton, although not the redaction of this information, but you have defended Comey on that. However, you are not defending Hillary Clinton, and you are not defending Donald Trump in electile dysfunction. First of all, how did you come up with that name?
You know, when you get to be my age, it's harder to get aroused about candidates. We expect more from our candidates. I remember Reagan and Kennedy, and I think a lot of Americans are saying, this is not a choice we're happy with. Look, I'm a supporter of Hillary Clinton. I'm going to vote for her with enthusiasm. I am aroused by her candidacy, but I understand why so many Americans are not. And Americans in this election, for the first time in history, are going to cast more negative than affirmative votes. The vast majority of people who vote for Clinton are voting against Trump. The vast majority of people who are voting for Trump are voting against Clinton.
What did you think of the whole, pneumonia, collapse, it was overheating thing on Sunday?
I wish she had disclosed on Friday that she had pneumonia. It plays into a narrative, which is unfortunate. Look,
Do you think she is a liar?
No, I don't. I know her personally. She's always been very truthful and very candid. But if Americans have a high level of distrust, then you don't want to feed into a narrative that encourages that feeling among many other people. And it's because of that that many Americans feel we have an electoral dysfunction going on in America today, and we need to do better in how we nominate our candidates.
We need a little blue pill
and
for 2016.
We also need to make sure that populism doesn't get out of hand. All through Eastern Europe, I write in my book, we're seeing the extremes rising, the right, the left. We're a centrist country, and we have to continue to be a centrist country with stability.
All right, so if you want to check out electile dysfunction, you can go to Amazon.com, you can go to BarnesandNoble.com, you can get the book. It's an e-book. It's only 110 pages, easy read. I don't know whether it'll keep you up at night. Up at night. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, great to see you, Professor.
Thank you so much.
I know, I had to. It's after 9. Well, 4 years ago today, Hillary Clinton was blaming an anti-Muslim video for the Benghazi terror attacks that killed 4 Americans. Tonight, the second highest-ranking State Department official in Libya at that time joins us for the first time now as a private citizen with the story he says you must know about Mrs. Clinton. Plus, we just got this dramatic video from Arizona where police are tonight telling us that this driver was intentionally trying to run down these police officers. Trace Gallagher's at the breaking news desk with the story moments away, right after this break.
They had no prior contact with this man when literally out of nowhere this guy comes in and apparently intentionally runs him down.